Hello and welcome to JoyNews Today. The bulletin is live from our studios here in Kokomlimli, Accra. We're also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125 and around the world on myjoyonline.com. I am MFA Akosia Adeti. Coming up this afternoon, TEWU Ghana declares nationwide strike over Ghana Tertiary Education Commission's refusal to recognize Union on University Councils. We've got more on this on JoyNews Today, and as well, opposition NPP questions Electoral Commission's sudden shift to rerun elections on Ablekuma North for 3 polling stations to 19 as it strongly rejects the EC's decision to hold fresh elections in the constituency.
The New Patriotic Party finds the Electoral Commission's sudden U-turn on Ablekuma North stalemate as not only shocking, but also disingenuous and unlawful.
The High Court sets July 18 for trial of former National Signals Bureau boss Kwabena Edu-Boahene over 49.1 million cedi cybersecurity software scandal after rejecting his request to compel the Attorney General to release National Security Special Operations account records. And the visiting Indian Prime Minister Modi vows to strengthen relationships between Ghana and his country, announcing a lineup of partnership between the two countries.
Our relationship knows no bounds.
We've got these plus business news, sports, showbiz, and world today in this package. Independent, fearless, and credible. Please stay. Thank you for staying with us here on News Today. We'll start with a strike action. Now, the Tertiary Education Workers Union Ghana, TEWU, has declared a strike protesting what it describes as the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission's persistent refusal to recognize the union's representatives on the governing councils of public universities. At a news conference in Kumasi, President of TEWU, Abdullah Sulemana Rahman, announced that all members across the country would lay down their tools. Now, joining me to have a conversation on this is Charles Arthur, Chairman, TEWU Ghana KNUST chapter. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Let's start with how unified the strike effort is nationwide. Are all the TEWU GH branches participating in full?
Yeah, thank you very much, my sister, and good afternoon to your cherished listeners. Yes, it is. This is a nationwide strike. And as a result of that, once it has been declared, every TEWU Ghana member in public university is affected. It has to adhere to the guidelines and the rules and the direction by the national. So it is nationwide and it is affecting everybody.
Okay, now let's get into it. Why is the representation on the University Governing Council so crucial to TEWU, and what really do you risk? What do you believe would you be risking if you're absent from the council?
You know, it's what is happening now. We see it to be a cheating on the part of the government institutions, because when the law says something, we must go by the law. Because if we did not go by the law, then we'll create chaos in the system. If the University Council has a slot for a union, and the union now, we have 2 unions, then we only have to look at the enabling law and then see how we'll deal with that matter, which of course, Professor Ablekuma North, the Director General of GTEC, was doing it. And unfortunately, he cut it and decided to, as it were, take a unilateral decision to bring us to where we are now. So it is the law that says that we have a union representative on the University Council. And once it's the law, then we must follow the law.
What reasons have they been given to take your representation off? What reason have they been giving?
they are saying that the name in the what do you call it in the University Act is the name of the TEWU, and therefore they think that they will have to be there until the act is amended. We look through the act. The name that differs from the TEWU name. TEWU name is Teachers and Educational Workers Union of TUC Ghana. The name in the Act 80 as amended is Teachers and Education Workers Union. So this is a generic name that one union cannot take it and say that it belongs to me. And after that, they are saying that we have just come into a system, and then TEWU has been in existence for 58 years. As a result of that, they think that they're supposed to be there. And we are saying that no, initially you said the name. When we raise the issue that the name are not the same because identical and same are not the same, then they are now moving from that and say that they have been in existence for long and therefore they should be on council rather than that has come just 2 or 3 years ago. Even though we have the majority of the workers. And here they are ignoring the what we call the enabling law, Labor Regulation 2007, LI 1833, Section 10(1) of that law clearly shows that when we have two unions, the labor officer with the same membership, the labor officer will have to be notified, and then he will carry what do you call it, verification to determine which of the unions is having a majority of the workers, so that there will be that union will be issued with a bargaining certificate to represent the workers. This one, the Minister of Education, the Minister of Employment and Labor Relations, and others, and the GTEC are all ignoring this law that will bring peace in governing this matter and using their own. Let me
get a bit of clarity. Of course, is it the case that that union really existed a little over 40 years, over 50 years? And did you belong to that body at all? Why do we have two now?
Yes, we belong to that union, but we saw that it's not helping us simply because that particular union, it's having so many branches. One union called TEWU, it's having branches in what you call it, Ghana Education Service. All 9 teaching staff belongs to them. Library Board, all of them belongs to them. Museum and Monument Board, and then some private schools and other things. So and then initially technical universities and then public universities. We saw that this will not help us. And in most cases, most of the leadership have not worked in the university before, and they do not understand the tenets of the university. And they always shortchange us when it comes to issue of negotiation. So the public university sat down and said that no, when you come to the university, all university unions are university-based. UTAC is university-based. GAWA is university-based. Senior Staff Association is university-based. Therefore, we as a TEWU, we must also be a university-based. Hence, we decided that we have to part with them, and we parted with them since 2nd June 2022.
What will it take for the act to be amended so that it will give way for you, TEWU GH, to have a place on the governing council?
No, the issue is that it's not about that. The TEWU were representing us on the council because they were having the what they call the bargaining certificate. The bargaining certificate will give you the opportunity of representation. It is the reason why they were representing us. So it's the reason why that the law is also saying that anytime we have two unions with the same membership, then that law will have to be used. So it's not a matter of going to change the act, because their name, first of all, is not in the act. So it's not a matter of going to change. It's a matter of using the enabling law, Section 10(1) of the Labor Regulation. As I have told you earlier on, if that is, it has happened in some of the, what do you call it, unions. Health service workers, it's happened between them and the Laboratory Professional Association. It happened, and nobody said anything about it. So yeah, of the people. Let's
understand the impact of this strike on the universities. Generally, which sections of the universities will be affected?
Thank you very much. We have, when it comes to issue of that, the university library, we have members there. We have sanitary, are all our members. Security, the chunk of the members there are members. Hospital, we have them there. The grounds and gardens are with us. The drivers are with us. And then many more, some of the offices, because in every office you will get the clerk or you will get the what do you call it, junior staff and some senior staff who belongs to us. So it will affect the vice chancellors in the university, and then for that matter, the management of the university knew that our action will affect them. But for Professor Jinapo, who is not working in the university, for Honorable Minister of Education, who is not working in the university, will take it that, oh, it will not do anything. We are yet to see whether it will do something or it will not do so. But in our view, we believe that withdrawal of our services clearly will clearly affect the running of the university. Take Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where they use it to convey people, students, and we said our drivers are not going to drive them. What will happen to them?
Okay, have you exhausted all of your negotiations, dialogue, all of the means possible?
We have done that, my sister. We have done that. We have.
What will it take for you to come back? What will it take for you to call off the strike? What will it take for you to call off the strike?
What will take us to come back is that we are saying that the letter that Professor Jinapo has written to the various university allowing the TEWU to be represented on CAS, even though they are minority. If you take Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, we are 785, they are 123. And you said that they should go to council as against us. And then even Tamale is 582 against 14. And the Winneba 2 is 400 against what do you call 10. We are saying that other universities that they don't even, TEWU does not have even members.
Okay.
So we are saying that all these things, they have to withdraw them, and then verification is done, and then we know who's supposed to represent, and then we represent, because the majority is on our side.
Thank you, Mr. Charles Atta. Thank you for joining us today on JoyNews Today. Now, moving on, the opposition New Patriotic Party is questioning the Electoral Commission's decision to rerun elections in 19 polling stations at Ablekuma North, as it vehemently rejects the EC's decision to hold fresh elections there. That constituency is yet to have a member of parliament more than 6 months after the 2024 parliamentary polls. The Electoral Commission on Wednesday, in a statement, said it will conduct fresh polls in 19 polling stations in the area, a move being rejected by the opposition New Patriotic Party.
The New Patriotic Party finds the Electoral Commission's certain U-turn on Ablekuma North stalemate as not only shocking, but also disingenuous and unlawful. The party thus completely rejects the decision of the Commission to rerun the polling station elections in the said 19 polling stations, and we shall proceed to advance our reasons. It will be recalled that the High Court, Accra, on 4th January 2025, granted an application filed by the NPP to compel the EC to conduct its constitutional and statutory duty of completing the constituency coalition exercise in 4 outstanding constituencies. The EC gave the following justification. I quote, "The Commission arrived at the decision to rerun the election in the underlisted polling stations because the 19 scanned polling station results used for the coalition, though approved by agents of both political parties, were not verified by the presiding officers responsible for those polling stations," unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, let it be on record that at the meeting with the Electoral Commission on 1st July, our representatives, the persons of Evans Nimakun, our Director of Research and Elections, and Ebenezer Nati, Honorable Ebenezer Nati, former Member of Parliament for Ablekuma Central, representing our party, vehemently oppose the position of the Electoral Commission. So it cannot be that after extensive discussion, the EC painting the picture as if the parties there agreed to their roadmap.
We'll try and connect with my colleague Kenneth Ejesi to bring us more from that news conference. But yesterday on The Pulse, we spoke to the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, who indicated that, well, they are not in support of a rerun, and they look forward to not attending or participating to that rerun that the Electoral Commission is asking for. They, in turn, as well, provided more evidence as to the kind of engagements that they have had with the Electoral Commission prior to this new statement. We also brought you the statement by the Electoral Commission yesterday, and they had cited why. They said that both parties were still firm on their previous reasons why they wanted their way out of this Ablekuma North parliamentary elections. We'll bring you that, but stay with me as in Parliament, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Ghana and India will continue to deepen their relationship between the two countries. Addressing members of parliament as part of his two-day official visit to Ghana, Prime Minister Modi said he and President John Mahama have agreed to elevate the relationship between the two countries into a comprehensive partnership. I'll bring you that shortly, but I'll take you back to that press conference that just happened by the NPP. My colleague Kenneth Ejesi joins me. Kenneth, what did we miss and what more have they been saying?
Well, so the NPP has taken a decision, and that is that they're going to head to court to challenge the decision. They say by the close of today, they would have filed processes in court challenging the decision. Now, they make the point that the Electoral Commission does not have any mandate or right to order for rerun, and that is only the mandate of the court. The court will have to mandate a rerun of it, and so they're going to challenge the process in court. And they are raising concerns, raising questions as to why the Electoral Commission has backtracked on its initial 3 outstanding polling stations that they said they were going to run. They said that in a letter dated June, and in May, the Electoral Commission did inform them that they're going to rerun the elections in only 3 polling stations. And when the Deputy Electoral Commissioner appeared in Parliament, he reiterated that point that they were going to rerun the elections in only 3 polling stations. Now, they are raising concerns that after an interview on JoyNews by Johnson Esiru-Getia, the NDC's national chairman, the Electoral Commission has taken a new position, and that is to conduct elections in 19 polling stations. So they are alleging that there's some pressure from government for them to, extend the number of polling stations from 3 to 19 in attempt to favor the ruling NDC. And the woman in question, Anna Free, is also here. She's in a high spirit. The NPP has insisted that she is the legitimate winner of that particular elections that was held at Ablekuma constituency.
Right. So have they indicated what they will do next?
Yes, and what they will do next is to head to court, and they're going to do that before the close of today. They're going to file processes in court to challenge the decision because they say it is an illegality for the Electoral Commission to declare that they are going to conduct a rerun. They say that the Electoral Commission has no right to do that, no power, unless a court to do that. So that's why they're going to challenge the decision in court.
Right. Thank you so much, Kenneth Ejesi, for bringing us updates from that NPP news conference. And I'll take you back to Parliament, where Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Ghana and India will continue to deepen the relationship between the two countries. Addressing members of Parliament as part of his 2-day official visit to Ghana, Prime Minister Modi said he and President John Mahama have agreed to elevate the relationship between the two countries into a comprehensive partnership.
Our relationship knows no bounds. And with your permission, may I say, our friendship is sweeter than your famous sugar loaf pineapple. With President Mahama, we have decided to elevate our ties to a comprehensive partnership. Friends, The world order created after the Second World War is changing fast.
And I'll take you to our parliamentary affairs correspondent, Kweku Asante, to bring us more on this. Now, Kweku, the Prime Minister has been full of praise for Ghana's democratic credentials. Is that the case?
Well, yes, MF, according to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Ghana continues to be a beacon of democratic development and consolidation on the African continent. He praised how Ghana has gone through successive elections, how we've been able to do our things in a way that has not led to conflicts among others. According to the Prime Minister of India, if Ghana continues on this trajectory, it will continue to become a global force, a much respected body, and Ghana will continue to blaze the trail when it comes to democratic development in Ghana. Listen to the Prime Minister.
Oh, Kweku, I definitely will bring them that footage a bit later. But tell me what the Speaker of Parliament and other members have been saying, all their reactions.
Well, the expectation ordinarily was that the leadership on both sides of the House, the minority leader and the majority leader, would have made some comments after the address by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but that was not to be because of the very, very tight and packed schedule of the Prime Minister. So as soon as he was done, the Speaker did make some concluding remarks, and then the Prime Minister had to leave. Ultimately, we understand he is scheduled to leave Ghana to another country today, and so the schedule did not permit that. But the Speaker of Parliament did talk about how the Indian government has collaborated with the Ghanaian counterparts in a number of areas over the last few years. And in fact, in Parliament today, some members were dressed as Indians, in particular the Member of Parliament for Dagos Yakwa, who actually had a headscarf like an Indian. There was also the Member of Parliament for Sikado Ketan, who also dressed like an Indian female. And they were all on the floor with the Speaker of Parliament actually making a remark as a joke that some of these members of Parliament were actually already ready to collaborate with the Indian Parliament when it comes to doing some of these things. And so members of Parliament on both sides have been expressing joy as the Indian Prime Minister did come to the country to address the Parliament of Ghana and is now set to depart later in the day.
Thank you so much, Kweku. When talking about dressing and outfits, you look amazing in that suit. All right, moving on, let's go to the court next. The High Court in Accra has fixed July 18 for the commencement of the trial of former National Signals Bureau Director General Kwabena Edubuahene and 3 others over the misappropriation of 49 million Ghana cedis cybersecurity defense software. Now, this was after the court dismissed the accused person's request for national security account since 1992. Justice John Nyate Nyedu, who read the concluding part of his decision, said the full ruling can be applied for on Monday, July 7. Now, the embattled NSB former Director General and 3 others, Angela Ajay Boateng, Mildred Donko, and Advantage Solutions, who have been charged for allegedly stealing 49 million Ghana cedis earmarked for the purchase of cybersecurity defense, have pleaded not guilty to a combined 11 counts, including stealing. These nationals arrested for alleged involvement in illegal mining have been remanded for 2 weeks by the Bekwai Circuit Court. According to Police Prosecutor ASP Beidu, a 5th suspect whose name is given as Lee is at large. Police claim the suspects in their caution statements have admitted to the defense, indicating their colleague who is at large engaged their services. Nana Ojima has more in this report.
The suspects were charged by prosecution on 3 counts of conspiracy to mine without lawful authority and mining without authority. They were also charged with possession of firearms and ammunition without lawful authority. According to prosecution, the suspects were arrested in an operation on the 27th July 2025 at Old Atetem in the Adanse Asokwa district of the Ashanti region for alleged engagement in illegal mining along the Subin and Jimmy rivers.
You have a Bololi number for your head? No head.
When we get
The operation was led by CEO of the Minerals Development Fund, Dr. Hannah Louisa Bisiu Korte, with her team and personnel from the Ashanti South Regional Police Command.
So what has happened is that actively they are on high alert. So any strange movement, they move out. But we are not too much into them now because you see, now we have the machine, the owners will come. The first person we had there, he did not get involvement. You were there. When the guys were carrying those pumps, we asked them to bring, he said, load them. Where did they load? Into that very person's vehicle. And a good Samaritan has taken time out to be plying the road with his motorbike. And he said, he didn't know there was a security person in the guys. I said, that guy going, he's the one doing this galamsey. So don't worry, there's a security man. So we have a full car of engineers, and they are coming to take these machines. So the owners, they'll have to come forward. Yeah.
According to the police, the suspects were actively mining at the time of their arrest. Prosecution told the court that 4 semi-automatic pump action guns and 20 BB live cartridges were retrieved from them. The police further indicated 11 excavator machines were seen at the mining sites. Part of 4 of them had been removed to immobilize the equipment. The 7 excavators were transported to the regional police headquarters and impounded. Prosecution says efforts are underway to get the one who is said to be at large. For Joy News, Nana Ojima, Bekwai.
You're watching Joy News Today. Let's do the National Science and Maths quiz next. I'll bring you the update on the National Science and Maths quiz if you stay with me after this break.
Welcome back to Business here on JoyNews Today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Enterprise Group has declared a dividend of 0.125 pesos per share for its shareholders, marking a 30% rise from the previous year's distribution. Addressing shareholders at the company's annual general meeting in Accra, Board Chairman Kelly Kajepo attributed the group's solid performance in 2024 to a 30.5% growth in insurance revenues, driven by the adoption of improved technology in premium collection and service delivery.
Shareholders at the annual general meeting in Accra, Board Chairman Kelly Kajepo credited Enterprise Group PLC's strong performance in 2024 to a 30.5% growth in insurance revenues, driven largely by the adoption of enhanced technology in premium collection and service delivery.
In spite of the difficult macroeconomic environment, our group delivered strong financial results in 2024. Insurance revenues increased by 30.5%, while other revenue grew by 32.2% compared to the previous year. In light of this performance, the Board of Directors of your company is pleased to recommend a final dividend of 0.126 Ghana cedis per share, representing a 30% increase from the previous year and amounting also to a total payout of 21.5 million Ghana cedis, subject as always, to shareholder approval.
Group Chief Executive Officer Daniel Labitieku expressed optimism about Ghana's improving macroeconomic outlook and assured shareholders of even stronger performance in the coming year.
We think that the economic environment is gradually stabilizing, so it's pretty much within our control to be able to execute some of the agenda that we have. 2025 is going to see us very aggressive in the digital space, technology deployment, to enhance the engagement we have with our customers. I think customer retention is also key to us. If our customers are happy, they stick with us, and that is what we seek to do.
The group recorded a significant 49.6% growth in net profit, marking a sharp recovery from the 24.7% decline experienced in 2023. Profit after tax surged to 366 million Ghana cedis, up from 193 million in 2023.
Now, away from that, the Ghana Revenue Authority has assured it is on course to conclude all work on the proposed value-added tax reforms by September this year. This is to allow for full implementation by the government in the 2026 economic policy and budget. Commissioner of Domestic Revenue at the GRA, Edward Apenten-Jamere, has been speaking to Joy Business after a stakeholder engagement with some traders in Accra.
Value-added tax reform has become necessary as the government has identified some distortions in the payment processes after implementation for more than a decade. As part of the review process, stakeholders are being urged to make inputs before the final draft is released. Commissioner of Domestic Tax at the GRA, Edward Apenten-Jamere, spoke to Joy Business after a stakeholder engagement in Accra.
We are expected to complete the drafting by September. So we complete the engagement within the next 2 weeks. We'll start doing the draft. When we are done with the draft, we'll come back again, engage stakeholders for them to go through and see what is coming, what is in there, their input that have been considered. Those that we are not able to take on board, we'll provide explanations to them and come up with a document that will be acceptable to Ghanaians.
Tax consultant Francis Timoboy welcomed the processes and urged the government to intensify engagement for smooth rollout.
When you are doing reforms, there's a need to carry the people who are affected. You need to carry them along. It's interesting, some of the comments that they are making, and it tells you that if you come out with a policy and you don't engage them, you are likely to face some challenges. So the unintended consequences, some fantastic ideas have been shared here, and I believe that the Ministry of Finance will consider those ones before they come out with their policies. One key thing that resonates with me is that the VAT system operates such that if you have sold on credit, you haven't collected the money, yet they expect you to come and pay. The question is, where do I get the money from? And if you sell to institutions like government, which takes maybe like 6 months to come and pay, you literally have to go and look for money somewhere at an interest rate to come and pay for the VAT. And these are some of the concerns raised by the traders. So I'm happy that it's coming up. We all have to, come together. Sometimes we ask them, what do they suggest?
The reform is expected to improve VAT contribution to domestic revenue.
That's all for business. For more business updates, visit myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Winston Taki. We have more news for you after this break. Stay tuned.
Thank you for staying with us here on News Today. Now, the founder of God's Way International Heaven Church, Patricia Isiedio, popularly known as Nana Agrada, has been convicted by the Circuit Court for charlatanic advertisement and defrauding by false pretense. Now, the court, presided over by Her Honor Evelyn Asamoah, has ordered a pregnancy test to be conducted on her before her sentencing. This development comes after she was found guilty of advertising a money-doubling scam, duping church members into giving her money for an all-night service at a Ouija church in Accra. More to follow if you stay with us. It's a developing story. The NSMQ next. Now we start from the Western region. Adubia Sare is there where the stage is set for a high-stake contest. Adubia, what is it like today? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, kindly unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're very audible. Thank you. What's it like today?
So minutes ago, this place was just choked. I mean, the atmosphere here was electrifying. I'm here with the current winners of the first contest. Who are they? Okay, so Bishop Water Girls have just aced the first contest and they've secured a slot to contend with other winners for today for the final championship, the Western Regional Championship. Now, the Ablekuma Senior High School really gave them a run for their money because in the first round, they were not seeing top. Were you people seeing top in the first round? They were not seeing top in the first round. But still in the second round, they were still not seeing top. They led in the second round. But Ablekuma was right behind them with a point. In the third round, they were still lagging behind. They had 35 points. Ablekuma was at 39. It took the fourth round, which obviously is their stronghold. That's the riddles round. They just aced it, and they've ended with 47 points. MFR.
That's impressive. What would it be for them moving forward? And that's for the Western region. What would it be for them moving forward?
So what's it going to be like for you moving forward? Tell me. Are you winning this?
Well, we started with the grace of God. The grace of God has seen us through, and it is evident because we started with 73 points, we moved on with 47 points, and we are going to win this because the grace of God.
MFA, let me ask them this question. So they are going to contend with champions like GSTS, who are already a seeded school, and then the current regional champions, that's St. John's. Their contest is currently underway, and I can hear that they are already getting their questions, their answers right. What do you have to say about this?
Okay, so no matter, even if they win their contest, we are still being victorious because we still have the grace of God with us. So it's going to be a sweet victory.
Okay, so you're winning today's championship?
Yes.
Okay, so MFA, they are very hopeful that they are going to be crowned today's champion. They are going to be crowned today as Western Regional champions. Let's see how it goes. We can only wish them all the best. May the best school win.
Of course, we wish them the best. Now, away from the Western region, I'll take you to the Bono region where Collins Frimpong is on standby. Collins, what's it like in that region?
It looks like today is a day of comeback. Everyone is doing comeback back to back to back. That's what has also been happening here as we are in the Western region. When it comes to scenario here, where we are having the current we are having the zonal semi-final. The first contest just ended, and nobody actually took Ablekuma Presby Senior High School to make it to the final. Yesterday, I told you about where they defeated St. Campo. Today, we are having Presby of Ablekuma Presby FHS defeating Techima Senior High, who in the last 3 years, they have been to the zonal finals before. Ablekuma has not been to the zonal finals before in the last 7 years. And also coming into this contest, nobody takes them because they were going to meet the likes of Techima, who had 56 points in their first contest, and also Sake Senior High School, who defeated the current zonal champions, Senior High School, with just 3 points. They secured 49 points.
Right.
So coming in this time around, they were losing. Until the last round where they were losing, and the radio, they changed all their last 2 radios to secure a place in the zonal finals, which will come up tomorrow.
Thank you.
3 more contests to go on today.
Okay, thank you so much, Collins. We'll wait for the results of those contests as well. Time now for World Today. Now, the African Development Council is asking President John Mahama to, as a matter of urgency, quote, diplomatically mediate for peace restoration to the country as soon as possible to prevent further bloodshed, end quote. Now, the ADC says this has become necessary because the UN, the AU and ECOWAS and other bodies responsible for restoration of peace have failed to act. Now let's engage Engineer Dr. Bright Sogwe, President, Africa Development Council. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now let's start. Now, what exactly does the ADC mean by, quote, diplomatic exit package, end quote, for the embattled Togolese leader? What might this include?
Yes, thank you very much, and then my regards to the viewers as well. As it is now, the situation in Togo is getting out of control. And let's look at the nations bordering Togo. We have Burkina Faso to the north, we have Ghana to the west, and Benin to the east. Now, among these three nations, it's only Ghana that is relatively peaceful. And the likelihood that there will be high influx of refugees from Togo, high influx of refugees from Togo is very high. And the economic implications for Ghana will be very, very catastrophic.
Right.
The reason the Africa Development Council is calling on the president of Ghana to intervene. And the package is this. I mean, for a sitting president to let go must be assured of its, of his, diplomatic immunity. And then for his family as well.
Okay, that sounds pretty straightforward and clear, but thank you for joining us today. And I'm certain that your statement is out. We'll be engaging you subsequently in our bulletins. Please stay for sports.
Bringing you sports now on JoyNews Today with me, Muftawa Nabila Abdullah. Safoda Ventures and McDan Group have signed up for this year's Joy Sports Invitation that will be happening on August 9 at University of Ghana Stadium. The chairman of the McDan Group, Daniel Macaulay, says that his team will win about 60% of the events that Joy Sports has put together for this year's competition.
This year for me is going to be crazy. One of the tournaments that we've been winning, which I really love, is the Jama one. You know, this season, I want to bring our own judges for the Jama competition because we weren't so happy we didn't win the last year Jama competition. We're supposed to win that Jama competition. But I don't know what happened, so we'll bring our international judges to be part of your judges and see what happened. This year we are winning tennis, football. The volley is always for us, so we'll not even compete with anybody. I know our opponents wouldn't want to even appear. So that one is a done deal. We are training 2 athletes to take those trophies. So we are very confident that we are likely to wipe about 60% of all the trophies. So Ghana should be ready. Corporate Ghana should be ready. And we are coming. And we like the noise. So you see our first badge coming in our T-shirts with a Jama. Everybody must be ready for us.
And as I mentioned earlier, Safoda Ventures, ARV Apex have all signed up. As of Monday, about 15 companies have already signed up for this year's Joy Sports Invitational Tournament, which is happening on August 9. And to sign up, just take a look at the crawler. You can either contact us on 05401064666 or go to myjoyonline.com and download the form, fill it and submit it to us, and you will secure your slots for this year's Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. Media reports that came in this morning spoke about the fact that Liverpool forward Diogo Jota died at the age of 28 in a car crash in Spain, and Liverpool have confirmed his demise. Head on to myjoyonline.com and read some more sports stories. We appreciate your company.
My name is Loishola Adeyemi, and it is time for Showbiz. Now, veteran Ghanaian rapper Ni Adokweno, popularly known in showbiz as Tiny, has revealed that he originally started his career rapping in Twi and English, but later switched to Ga. This, he said, was after realizing it was the only way to stay true to himself and his roots. Explaining why he initially chose Twi, Tiny pointed out that this decision was for commercial advantage. Please take a look at this video.
Twi is the most spoken language in Ghana, so, you know, when you're doing something in Twi, to you, faster it to go, you know. Yeah. Patronizing the market-wise, I mean, fast. So I decided to do my thing in Twi, but later on, I realized, no, I'm not original. I have to be me and represent where I'm coming from. You know, that's why I went back to my pen and my paper. I wrote Rokola Kwakwe and the follows. Yeah.
So whose idea was it for you to switch from Twi to Ga?
Myself. Nobody.
Yourself? Oh, okay. No. I had some rumor it was Hammer.
No, it wasn't Hammer. Before meeting Hammer, I was a Ga rapper before meeting Hammer, because I remember I met Hammer through Dogo when Dogo was going to record his album, and Hammer was looking for a Ga rapper. So Dogo actually told Hammer about me.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
So Hammer gave me a call. I was home and he called me. It's at East Legon, and I drove there and I met him and blah blah. So it wasn't Hammer at all.
Right, away from that, gospel musician also revealed how she started. The gospel musician we're talking about is Dinah Hamilton. She explained how she started her musical career as a backing vocalist for renowned gospel artist Francis Ejay, a role she had held for 10 years before launching her solo career. Dinah shared that her passion for singing began very early in life, hence why she jumped at the opportunity that played a crucial role in her career. Take a look.
All that time, I wouldn't say I was singing for anything until Francis Ejay, who was in my church, kind of discovered me and added me to his team. And that's when we first did Metrobo Tembi. I was in JSS then. And then between JSS and secondary school, I had enough time to spend with him on gigs and studio and all of that. And so when I went to Ghana National College, we had an album in our name, as in Francis had an album in his name, and I was his backing vocalist. And so I did that. I sang with him for 10 years.
Wrapping up, a judge has denied bail to Sean Diddy Combs after a jury convicted the hip-hop mogul of transportation to engage in prostitution, but acquitted him of the most serious charges, racketeering and sex trafficking. Lawyers for the recording artist have argued that he posed no flight risk, pointing out his jet is being chartered in Hawaii. But judge cited Combs' history of violence as he ruled the rapper must remain behind bars until sentencing later this year, when he faces up to 20 years in prison. In a newly 2-month federal trial in New York, prosecutors accused Combs of using his celebrity status and business empire to run a criminal enterprise to sex traffic women. A panel of 12 jurors deliberated for 13 hours before acquitting Combs of 3 of the 5 most serious charges. He will continue to be held at the same federal jail in Brooklyn, where he has been detained since last September. The sentencing has tentatively scheduled for 3rd October. And that's how we wrap Showbiz. My name is Loishola Adeyemi, MFA.
Thank you, Shola, for bringing us updates. Such a sad situation. But thank you as well for staying with us all through the news. I'm MFA Akusiadeti. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com and stay for Marketplace. Daryl, call comes up.